Very cool. Well, welcome to the Beyond Cinema studio up here at Sundance. Steve, Jake the Snake Roberts, Mr. Diamond Dallas Page, Scott Hall. Congratulations on having the film up at Slamdance. Standing ovation for the film. The film opens with Jake telling you to turn the camera off, right? And
there was a lot of that.
He's not the smallest guy in the world. You're not the smallest either, but he definitely has some size on you. How did that make you feel when you're sitting opposite this guy, a little bit volatile at this stage?
Yeah, in the beginning it was a little intimidating because you just remember Jake as the professional wrestler, the superstar. So then when you're kind of face to face, one on one, it can be intimidating. But I got to know him pretty good.
I think that's what happened is in the early stages, he got to see inside and realize, he's not as big a dick as he acts, and I'm grateful.
But what about for you, man? It's such a raw kind of experience, and you're sharing so much, all of you guys, of yourselves and of your relationships with each other and what you feel about the whole kind of wrestling family. Any reluctance to share that on screen?
Absolutely, because I'd done a film when I got involved in a thing before, and they really shoved it up my kazoo and my family. They hurt my family, and so I was very, very scared coming in. And Dallas I trusted, but I don't know this guy, and it took some time. But at that point in my life, man, I was so desperate to live, and I didn't want to fail again. And as you see in the film, I stumbled 5 or 6 times, man, and every one of them, man, just hurt worse. So for whatever reason, how it worked, whatever magic was used, I'm so grateful to Steve, to Dallas, to Scott, to the crib, to the people in the crib that had to watch my back, had to watch my front and my sides. Man,
it was really the perfect environment because like Jake and Scott both have been in inpatient rehab multiple times. So it just was the combination of trusting Dallas and then all of the other people within the house, like there were wrestling fans there. So they eventually felt really comfortable, like they trusted us. So then they were able to open up and they were able to really make progress.
Yeah, I mean, that's an amazing thing. I mean, going to a normal kind of rehab center, you've
completely
got
different.
so many people who don't know you.
Well, after you've been in a few, you know how to play the game.
Yeah.
You know the right words to say in a rehab center.
I used to ask him, I go, do you want to hear the rehab spiel or do you want to know what I really feel?
Yeah.
I mean, it was pointing out to me maybe you're getting addicted to rehab.
Yeah. But then, you have someone who you've worked with, who you've known, who kind of is now looking out for you, and you got to put trust in this guy, in DDP.
That was easy.
Yeah.
Trusting him was easy.
How did it feel for you, having that responsibility? Was it scary or exciting?
Can I say what I want here?
Yeah.
Okay, because I just want to, sometimes I put on my F meter.
Yeah, go for it, man.
F-bomb meter.
Oh boy.
The first scene you see where Steve comes to me after I've been interviewing Jake, and he goes, how do you think we're doing? I mean, I'd already promised Jake if he could overcome on his own, because he's 300 plus pounds.
308.
Got to lose 20 pounds on your own, which for a guy who I never knew about his work ethic back in the beginning, because when I saw him and got to know him, he was as good as it gets. So he didn't even, his warm-up was put down a cigarette and walk into the ring. So my point is that I didn't know he had a work ethic. And when I saw how bad a shape he was in, and after he just told me, when was the last time you did drugs? And he said, crack, a month ago. I know that meant, yesterday? Oh, God. And he's so crippled. When Steve said that to me, all I could think is, we're fucked. Because I just promised him, and he's already lost 7 pounds before we start that. Yeah. If he loses another 13, I want to move him in with me. Now, I love the guy, but I lived with him before, and he lost a 13-foot cobra in my house. Okay?
His wife had 3 cats.
That's a whole nother story. But the bottom line is, right at that moment, I thought, we're fucked. This is never going to happen. He's never going to be able to do it. We walk in, serve him breakfast, because I want him to see what real food tastes like, non-genetically modified food. We get done eating, and he goes, he stands up, pulls himself, gets out, he stands up, and he goes, okay, let's go. I look up, and I go, where? He goes, work out. What the fuck you come here for? we'd already done 2 moves and he stopped. I was like, you're gonna do more? And then he kept doing more.
2 moves at a time.
Sit down, get back up, 2 more moves, sit down. And I thought, I took Steve as we're driving out of there. I go, that was the little light in the black hole. That little spark, okay, maybe, but out of there, leaving there. Steve's and my whole goal was to help Jake be able to walk away from the business. Because that movie that just showed all of his darkness, didn't bring out anything, and even put him farther into the black hole, that hurt him bad. And I wanted to give, that was not the way Jake Snake Roberts should walk away from our business. Walking away to Hall of Famer,
Yeah.
both of them.
The rings.
Yeah, we didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
we couldn't have written what happened better, because it was just amazing.
This whole
the
project,
story.
man, God's had a hand on this whole project, no doubt.
Well, I mean, the transition, the arc, I mean, all the things that you kind of try and plan for. I mean, really, DDP was, you guys were mentors to him. You enabled him and lifted him up into the game.
Yeah, big time.
And here he is playing that role for you guys.
When he was wrestling, Scott would always say to me, he would say things like, Dally, it's just your opinion. Like, he said so many things like that when we were working together. I'd call him back up when he was on the road in WWE. And I go, okay, dude, you're right about that. All right, I'm just calling back to let you know you're right about that. So both of them taught me a lot,
So he obviously refers to both of you guys as mentors quite often. What about for you guys coming up through the ranks? Who were your mentors, either in the business or outside?
I'm a huge Dusty Rhodes fan. Dusty started me in the business. He had a big impact on Dallas.
Big.
But I mean, you can't really be a student of wrestling and not know about Jake. I had only crossed paths with Jake briefly in our careers. We never partied together.
Thank God.
Don't plan on it now. But I mean, his ring work, his psychology, his interview skills. And so I'll never forget, I was really sick and I was in a hospital in Florida to the point where there was no visitors, no phone calls, nothing. And the only person allowed in the room was this kid serving food trays. Now, naturally, he's a huge wrestling fan. I got IVs in both arms. I got oxygen up my nose. I don't really feel like doing a meet and greet. And the kid is just so excited. He just wants to show me this. On his phone, he pulls it out and he shows me, have you heard about what Jake's doing with Dally? And he shows me the before and after of Jake, and it just burnt into my brain like, wow, there is hope. Wow, I knew Jake had been in some dark places, and I've been there too. And it was like, wow, like this is real what he's doing. Because I'm thinking, go to rehab again.
Yeah.
What'll this be, number 13?
Yeah.
I mean, the Mac Daddy was and I said, well, let me try something different. Where I moved up to Atlanta, and now I live 2 blocks away from Dally.
And you guys are looking cool and healthy and like, yeah.
Strong 50 on the way to 60-year-olds. He's the kid.
60 this year.
59, 55,
There's something to be said about technology. Obviously, it's got the ability to kind of put you out there as being troubled and to show the worst parts of you.
Yeah.
But had it not done that, the awareness of each other and what needs to happen next probably wouldn't have existed either. So the technology of the internet and TMZ and all this bullshit actually led to action that changed your lives and led to that transformation.
Well, the advantage that Jake and I had, I call myself low-tech redneck. I mean, when we showed up, we both had identical little flip phones. I'd never been online, had no desire to go online. What I mean? And so they both presented us with, iPhones,
Jesus.
then iPads.
Oh
and
my God.
Like what?
What was that bird game you
Twitter.
played? What was that
Twitter.
bird game you
Oh,
played?
Flappy Birds.
Angry Birds.
Mad Bird,
Angry
Angry
Birds.
Birds.
I know, it was
So,
Flappy
yeah,
Birds. You guys
Flappy
were-
From
Birds.
zero awareness of the
Any of
social
that.
media or just the whole internet community, and then to now to be barely infantile in my internet skills, but
But you
it's
gave out
amazing.
hundreds of thousands of Twitter
Yeah, I got
followers.
180,000. man.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, and then obviously that's something for you as a filmmaker to tap into. But in the story, you guys, kind of use Kickstarter too. And
Indiegogo.
I'm sorry,
Indiegogo.
Indiegogo.
They would be.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
difference. So
I made
you
Jake
went-
hit you with a DDT on that one.
Yeah. And
someone
I
offered me a
can still
cough
do
drop. I said I'll take a face
Still
drop.
do it.
So that's a thing as well. It's like you're going to the internet, you're going to Indiegogo, and it's showing you love as well. Like, and that's pretty amazing.
That was a big moment for
Yeah.
me, man.
yeah,
Whenever
I'll never forget looking at Jake and going, wow, man, there's people out there, they really care about us. because I didn't care about me.
Yep.
So
I
I
hated
didn't
it.
expect anybody else to care about me, and it was so humbling, and it was like, wow, and then it just kept snowballing, and the number kept going up.
That's a big part of the disease, though. The disease tells you that you're not worthy of love, that you're a piece of crap, that you'll always be a drunk, that you can't beat this. And by the way, Jake, I'm your only friend.
Yeah.
Especially when it sounds like that.
And it knows. It whispers to him all the time. Hey man, you motherfuckers are fucking you. And it will take the smallest thing and turn it into a boulder the size of this room. You're being crushed, and it's like you see it in the film. Steve's going like, "Come on, Jake, we're not trying to do something to you. What are you doing?" And it amazes me to see. I look at the film like, God, you're such a dick. Wait, fuck, man, come on. It's still bothersome to watch that. To know that a disease can speak to you at such a level and take you down, regardless of the people around you trying to pull you out. It's got such a strong hold around your legs and dragging you down that shit.
Yeah. And Steve, I mean, for you as a filmmaker, no kind of bigger credit than to come out of the experience with guys whose lives are really changed. I mean, you know, Jake's daughter's sitting 5 feet away from us, and at the end, you know, the film shows that transition, his ability to reunite with his family, like.
Right.
DDP's program obviously can now reach more people.
Yeah.
Like there's an actual, you know, people go, oh, it's a film about wrestlers. No, man, it's like a call to action for so many people.
Film about love, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's always been a passion of mine, is try to figure out what you can tap into somebody to show them what's possible. And that was what we wanted to do with Jake. It's like, well, you know, we have this opportunity to help Jake. Let's show him what he could do, and then hopefully that will show other people what they could do. So it's really, you know, that's why we got all so emotional today, is because you sit there and you're just like, it's like an amazing feat that we're all here together, you know. So.
I was
He's
really,
not broken
I was
up.
really reluctant to sit through the screening. You know, I'd seen part of it, you know, at the crib in Atlanta. I'd never seen the ending, and I felt like, man, I'm just pulling the scab off. Just keep pulling. Why can't we just move on? Let it heal. Let it heal. You know. But I was really touched when a couple people in the audience shared that this is really powerful, and addiction touches a lot of families. You know, it doesn't discriminate.
Yeah.
It doesn't discriminate. You can live in the White House, you can live in the outhouse. It touches families, and it's a family disease. But to hear, you know, one lady talked about she lost her sister at 42, and that, you know, and that we need to realize that our wrestling careers are one thing, but you know what we you know, just what we're doing day by day is having an impact on people. And it really hit me standing in front of that audience when people are sharing that. You know, wow, you guys are, you know, you're doing great, you're an inspiration, because I never really looked at myself as an inspiration.
No.
You know, I always kind of chuckled.
Except the last call.
I always kind of chuckled when people would go like, well, you're my favorite wrestler. I'm going, yeah, on TV I'm a really cool cat, but you don't know me.
Yeah, I used to
You
get,
don't
I used to
you
get
don't
angry as
know
hell.
me.
when
That
they
was a
said
story you used to tell yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Just,
And so, if anything's possible now, like, what do you guys want to? What do you guys still want to like kind of achieve with all this new energy, you know?
I simply just want to help people that are in that same spot that I was, just to give them hope of coming out of it.
I don't think
There's no way I can repay him for what I could. If I give him $1 million, that wouldn't even be close, man, because he gave me my life back. He even taught me how to live. I never knew how to live. Even when I was back in the good days, I didn't know how to live like this. Eating well, actually taking care of your body, yep. Taking care of your body, and doing the right things. I mean, I had to change my whole mindset to stay in there and to keep achieving. So this film, man, he just gave me the tools to go out there and help other people. And I don't think I'll be happy doing anything else. I mean, I'm going on the road doing this slash comedy unspoken word tour, and basically it's a guy sitting in the locker room, you know, like you would in the old days, and you just showered, you're pulling practical jokes on each other. I just tell the stories. You know, the only difference is I have my clothes on, you know, because back in the day, you know, get in the shower and all that stuff. So I'm on the road doing this tour, but at some point during my comedy, I always go to that dark side and bring that up. And it's interesting to see the people in the audience go, wait a minute, it's supposed to be a funny show. And then you get real for a few moments. And every show that I've done, there's been people come to me after saying, man, I need to hear that. You know.
For me, excuse me, Jake.
No, I'm done.
For me, it's always been you know, like you hear about pay it forward, or you know, a lot of times you'll hear in AA meetings or in rehabs, you know, to keep it, you got to give it away.
Yeah.
And so now it just dawned on me, you know, an hour or so ago at the end of the screening at the Q&A, like, you know, because I was thinking, well, I can't give it away because I don't have it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm just, you know, I didn't want to be out there like poster boy for recovery, but now, you know, I mean, I'm not where I want to be, but I thank God I'm not where I used to be. You know, I'm okay and I'm on my way, and you know, I don't have anything against booze and drugs. I'm just not successful at it. You know, and I mean, I'm not the party pooper. I'm party if you want to party, party. But if it starts to interfere with your life, then it becomes an issue. And I just, I don't know. I never thought that I'd be at a point where I would address people and talk about addiction or, you know, some way out. But it really hit me about an hour ago when people were sharing that, you know, like it was an inspirational thing, because I never viewed myself in that capacity.
Yeah.
But you know, it's something for me to think about.
DDP, final word?
Anybody who's watching this, man, you know, The Wrestler, the movie, which lit this whole town up a few years back. You know, if you dug The Wrestler, you know, love The Resurrection, Jake Snake. And if you hate wrestling, thought what we did was garbage, I dare you to watch it.
Double dog dare.
We'll get you.
Bang.
Brother.
Brother. Bro, go. Bro,
Very
yoga.
cool. Thanks,
Yoga.
guys. We appreciate you coming by.
Thank you very
Great
much.
to meet you all.
Thank you. Yeah, it was
I
awesome.
like that phony accent you got.